Hello, everybody, and welcome to an episode of The Darker Side of Spirituality. So, today I am raising the question: does benefit fraud go off within the mind, body, spirit industry, specifically in regard to the event circuit and psychic nights and stuff like that? Now, the reason why I am doing this content is because I've recently had to remove somebody from my energy due to them basically trying to tell me to do one thing and then robbing my idea. And it got me to thinking, because in one of the conversations that we had, this person told me that they were struggling, that they could barely meet their universal credit. You know, their universal credit was barely touching the sides, etc., etc. Now, it's not the first time that I've heard people within the spiritual industry saying that they claim universal credit. And I'm not having a go at people, having a go at people who are on universal credit, specifically if you have health conditions, etc. Myself back in 2023, it was my first over Christmas. It was my first winter full time, and I was struggling to get by. I did manage to get by. One of my previous friends, who is also on universal credit and working in the spiritual industry, said I should ought to look into it. I did have a quick go on the calculator, and even back then, I was earning too much to claim. I didn't really want to be honest with you, because for me, universal credit is supposed to be a safety net for people who just cannot get the work. However, this just does raise the question: why are, and I don't know numbers, don't get me wrong, but why are people within the spiritual industry claiming universal credit if they don't have long-term health conditions, etc., etc.? I'm going to be blunt about this. As far as I'm concerned, if you're claiming UC and you don't have health conditions, then you're either not trying hard enough to get the work in, or you're, shit at your job, and people don't want your services. Now, I'll be quite honest, I'm a little bit bitter about it because, at the end of the day, I have to work 10 times harder than anybody else in this game. And I have done for the last couple of years, and I've had to scrape and fight for everything that I'm worth and that I'm owed. And when you've got people who are claiming benefits because basically they're not getting the work in, yeah, I mean, let's be honest here, just walk away. This obviously isn't the job that you're supposed to be doing. And the sad fact is that when you have an event circuit in an industry that is full of these people who, are obviously not very good at their jobs, or liars or frauds, and I'm going to come back to the fraud thing in a second, it takes away the work from the genuine people. You know what I mean? You take being a reader, for example, in the event circuit, it's extremely difficult to get a spot, right? If you're good at what you do and you can't get on anything because, slack arse Nancy, let's call them for argument's sake, who's on universal credit and bitching and moaning that they haven't got any, that they're struggling to get by, is taking that spot. Well, much like out there in the real world, if you can't get the work in the real world, you're not going to get the work at events. Now, the reason why I touched on the fraud thing, I'm not talking about benefit fraud here. Although, let's face it, if somebody's claiming benefits and they're going to events and they're getting money, specifically cash, out of clients, well, yes, that is benefit fraud. But what I am talking more about here is that the person that I'm specifically talking about, I've seen is doing, or is going to be doing, a workshop at an event. I think it's around about September time, on removing money blocks. So you want people to come to your workshop on removing money blocks, yet you're claiming universal credit. You're having to kind of look into getting a normal job again because you can't afford to live off universal credit, and you're not good enough at your job that you can bring in the clients, but you're going to do a talk on removing money blocks. Are you having a fucking laugh? But this is what the industry's like. It's full of these fake ass frauds who will give you the advice and guidance and I'm a guru and I'm this, that, and the other. All the while they're struggling themselves. I used to know somebody in the past, and you'd see her at events, and she'd be like, "Oh yes, I'm this, I'm that, I'm Zen. I'm do my meditation. Blah 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 blah. I'm going to sort your life out." And you'd see all this positive stuff posted on social media, and you'd contact them and go, "Oh, it sounds like you're doing it." "Oh no, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. This has gone wrong. That's gone wrong." Blah, blah, blah. And it's bullshit, right? It's absolutely bullshit. The problem is that these people think that if they go into toxic positive mindset, then it's going to turn around. And as I always say, it's not that easy, because you're not talking about just a mindset shift. You're talking about breaking your karmic cycles. You're talking about hustling, or controlling the variables, as I call it. So doing everything that you can do. And once you've done everything that you can do, you then sit back and you release it, not chasing, attracting, and then shifting your frequency alongside the mindset. But these people, they don't get it. They don't understand it. They make it sound easy. They say, "Come to us and we'll sort your life out." And it doesn't work. And then inevitably what happens? People become disillusioned, and they turn away from this and just remain in the matrix unhappy. Okay. So, yeah, like I say, I'm not accusing anybody of benefit fraud, but, there seems to be an awful lot of people, and I don't know the exact numbers, of people working in the spiritual industry who are claiming universal credit, yet touring the UK on the event circuit. Question everything, people. Question everything. I've made I've not made out that I'm doing really well. You know what I mean? For the last 3 years or so, I've made it abundantly clear that I've struggled and how people haven't supported me, and I've had to fight for everything that I want to. And you can call it sour grapes, and you can say that I'm bitching and moaning. I don't give a shit. I talk the truth. I tell the truth. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that my life's been perfect and, I found this, that, and the other. I've had to work damn hard at it. And even then, once you crack the kind of code, you're still then having to deal with other people trying to pull you down along the way. Okay? So yes, question everything. Don't just assume just because somebody's doing a workshop, they know what the fuck they're on about. So yes, you see in the spiritual industry, okay, is it a pandemic? Is it an issue? What are your thoughts about it? Get involved in the comments section. I might respond. I might not. I'll see how I feel. I'm feeling a bit ratty today. So there you go. And don't forget to get readings off me. Priority same day guaranteed from 10 quid. Linktree. Ta-ta.